streaming, start recording. I'm gonna get the link out. Hope you can see this thing on the camera when I show it. Because I got that background up.
I like the name CM Larry.
Originally, I was going to use a picture of the dog for the Discord, but then I found that picture of Tony Khan. I was like, I got to use that. That's like the meme going around now.
Yeah.
You should have used that. Should have took the picture and have Larry behind him.
Yeah. Like he bit, like he just bit him, and he's like, ah!
Yeah.
Like an old cartoon.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's hilarious.
Hold on. Of course this happens when I'm live.
Oh, Larry, yes. Let me get the chat open.
How you doing, Eli?
I'm doing good, Nick. How you been? I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, it's been alright. I've just been busy, man. Dealing with shit, so.
Yeah, I feel that, man.
So.
All right.
We're all here.
We're all here. We're waiting for Romeo if he wants to jump in. But hello and welcome to AoX Wrestling Podcast Episode 3 for September 9th, 2022. I'm Perry. I'm with Eli and Nick. You guys can say hello.
What's up? What's up? How you guys doing?
Yo. Hey.
We're going to talk about this whole CM Punk deal. The Nick has returned to wrestling, says Frank in the chat room.
Nick.
The one person to get me to come back to podcasting is CM Punk. So that's pretty fitting.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'll be here. It'll be a brief appearance, but I'll be here to say what I have to say. So.
Look what I got a hold of.
Oh, what? You're kind of cutting out on the camera.
Yeah,
you're invisible.
What? I'll fix that. Give me this. I will change video background. Let's just put none for right now. This way you can see how messed up the room is. Look what I got.
Ooh.
You know what this is, right?
Yeah, the water he was drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I get some of that?
I heard that stuff's good. I never had it. I heard that stuff's good.
Open it right now. An unboxing of CM Punk's seltzer.
How appropriate, right?
Bro, there's two things that probably happened after like happened. One, a bunch of people probably bought that seltzer afterwards, and two, everybody probably went to that bakery he got that muffin from 100%.
Oh yeah.
Well, knowing the fans, they probably like friggin' doxed the bakery and everything. Don't serve cupcakes to CM Punk no more. He hurt my feelings when he left in 2015, even though he was fired.
Can y'all hear me good?
Romeo is here.
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
Romeo.
What's going on?
Yo, man, what's up?
Y'all doing all right?
We got that CM Punk seltzer here. So, Romeo,
doing
welcome. Long-time watcher and listener.
Yep.
Welcome.
All right. So, let's get to it. There was a fight backstage during the media scrum that Frank and I and Jeff were watching, and our mouths were wide open. We were like, what is going on here? And apparently these guys were fighting backstage. And didn't this happen to UFC the other day? There was a fight backstage?
Yes.
Dana White was like, the pay-per-view's canceled now.
The sway-in was canceled, and now they changed the pay-per-view matches all around the day before. So everybody's fighting somebody different. So it's still going on. It's just the two dudes that were fighting in the back, they're actually fighting on the card now. So that's it was actually smart. It was actually smart to do that.
That's what this guy should do when they hash everything out in 9 months to a year. When these guys all
strike while the iron's hot, bro. But yeah, no.
So yeah, there was a fight. CM Punk basically took over the scrum. He was defending himself. I know a lot of people are like, he did this, that. It's like, all right, calm down. All right. And the guy defends himself, says, hey, you want a piece of me? Come back backstage and find me. Well, they went backstage and found him, and there was hair pulling. I heard when Kenny Omega's hair was pulled, he was like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
Was biting
Larry the dog
involved,
bit
but
him.
not by Larry.
Yeah. They threw a chair, or
So-
Ace Steel threw a chair.
So I heard something funny. I heard that Ace Steel's wife was babysitting Larry, dog sitting Larry. And
Yes.
people like she should have been dog sitting her husband.
Yeah. No, I mean,
My question was, where was AJ in all this? Like, where was she at?
She's probably home.
Probably at
not,
home.
probably at home. I don't think she goes to many of the
Yeah,
like.
he doesn't.
She only goes.
He doesn't let her go anywhere. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
By the way.
No, but
She
no,
just
but
doesn't
yeah,
go.
no, but she goes every once in a while, but not like every single time. I don't think she. From what I read, she was not present at the event.
So what I heard is there's two sides to the story. Punk's side and Ace Steel's side was that they kicked the door down. Then it led to a confrontation. Punk threw the first punch. Then it turned out to be like a 10-minute brawl. And then the Young Bucks' side of the story was that they walked in and Punk just sucker punched him. And then that's what happened.
You know what's funny? They keep saying, like, on The Observer, they keep saying, well, it only matters who threw the first punch. And I'm like, but why did he throw the first punch? Did he say, hey, motherfucker, we're going to fuck you up right now, and then he threw the first punch? You know
we'll
what I
never
mean?
know what actually happened. We'll never know what actually
Well,
happened.
there's rumors that this Cutler guy was filming
Yeah.
all this shit, and Tony Khan is furious. So, I don't know. If that footage ever gets leaked out, man, that's some bullshit.
They're probably gonna confiscate the fuck out of that. I mean, so they
They'll
don't
be
have
big.
it.
They probably already got it. If they follow then I'm hearing the Bucks threaten to quit. Then I'm hearing Punk threaten to sue them. Then I'm hearing they threaten to sue the company. I don't.
Then I heard
nobody
something like
knows.
after the fact, Punk and Kenny like talked like 1-on-1. So like, I don't know. Like I heard
Yeah,
like
yeah,
after
I
the
could
whole
get their
ordeal,
story
they actually
straight.
like talked just them two. So like,
And that's the
I
thing.
don't know.
Like for all of us, is all a bunch of he said shit because we don't know what.
No. He said he said she said with Kenny Omega. That's right. You're right.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, only because like I don't know what I don't know. I mean I don't know. The bottom line is this. I think like I think each part. I'm the biggest CM Punk fan out there, but there's for each
Same.
party has a little to blame. Only because I think Punk doing that at the press conference was. I don't think he'd do that. But Tony Khan should have stepped in. He should have
he
put
should
his
have
foot
totally
down.
cut him off right then and there.
subject, like,
Yeah, like yo, bro, like don't do that here, and like cut him off. I think a lot of this is stuff that the thing that fucking just bothers me about the whole situation is that this seems like stuff that could have been talked out, and like if they got in a
Prevented,
room and been prevented, and there was just the gossip and the back and forth and the leaking stuff to the dirt sheets, and it just escalated, and then it just got fucking just a shit show. So I hope that everything goes as like I hope that Punk is able to stay with the company, but at the end of the day, I think this is why you don't make your EVPs current talent, active talent. You don't do
exactly.
that. You can't, as a boss, be scared of your employees. I don't give a fuck what you're the boss of or what company you own or whatever. You could be working at McDonald's. If you're the fucking manager and you're scared of your fucking employees, that's not gonna work. You're not gonna work in that manager position and let them run the fucking place. And that's what Tony Khan is. Tony Khan is scared of CM Punk. He's scared of the Young Bucks. He's scared of all these people. That's why he didn't put his foot down on any of this. Is because he's scared, and you shouldn't be scared. And I think Tony is a smart guy, but at the same time, I think he's it's his first time owning a company and running a company, and I think he made a lot of missteps in terms of like hiring the EVP, like making them the higher ups. Like making active talent the higher ups never work. It never works, and it was just bound to go bad. Punk doing it the way he did it at the press conference, was it professional? No, it was not professional, but he felt like he needed to call people out and defend himself, and I get it. But it just, Tony should have been the one to be like, hey, bro, not here. And that didn't happen, and then the fucking, everything went to shit after that. And the Young Bucks shouldn't be running into people's dressing room trying to fight, and Punk shouldn't, there was, I read one report that Punk said was like, they were kind of like, him and Ace were kind of shocked the Punks came into the dressing room like that. But I'm like, again, they're executive vice presidents. I get it. But you at the press conference said hey, if you
If you
got
got
a
a problem,
problem,
say,
let's
like,
go.
come find me. Like,
Yeah, and they came and they found you. They came and found you. They also found
Really
a
hard to
bite.
find.
They also found a bite mark and a chair to the face, but they found you. Ace Steel also. Get Ace Steel out of there. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
He's playing the role
one
of
out.
Dracula. He actually
I
stole
mean,
Dan
he's-
Housing's
he
gimmick.
said fuck on live TV.
Yeah, no, Ace Steel. I get he's like a well-respected like wrestling like trainer and stuff like that, and he's trained a lot of people in the business. But considerably CM Punk, and he means a lot to Punk. You don't go throwing fucking chair. But first of all, if someone's going to fight you, fight with fight like a man. Don't start throwing shit and biting people.
Here's the thing: we don't know really what happened. It sounds to me like when you watch those comedy movies and the guys start fighting and then they play the loud like rock and roll music.
Yes,
That's what this sounds like in my head when I read all this. I was like, this is like a scene out of one of these comedy movies.
When I read it, it sounded like like one of those like old like cartoons where the like characters start fighting. You just see like a dust cloud with a bunch of fists and feet flying in the air. That's literally what I pictured this being, and then like a chair just flying out of nowhere. It's a shitty situation. The fact that this is all over supposedly Colt Cabana is even more crazy. And it's sad, man. Hopefully this is able to be resolved. Like after the suspension, they can get in a room and talk shit out. I hope, because I'm a fan of the Bucks. I'm a fan of Punk. I'm a fan of like this company and what they're doing.
I think
and
that's
what they're
the
building.
issue. We're a fan of everything, and these guys are fucking it up.
Yeah, and it's just like I just like hopefully they can like grown men talk it out and put something. They don't even have to be best friends. I'm not saying that. All they gotta do is just talk out their issues, put it to the side, and say, "Look, even if I don't like you, I'm gonna be cordial and do what I gotta do and do my business, and that's it."
You know what I think of when I hear this? I think of the Attitude Era. Okay, because I'm thinking, okay, you had all these guys backstage in the Attitude Era, and you didn't have any fucking fights. Shawn Michaels and The Rock. The Rock hated Shawn Michaels because he was a dick to him. You didn't hear about The Rock fucking say, "Yeah, you come find me, Heartbreak," and then he goes backstage and they'll fuck each other up. You know what I mean? Like, The Rock just said, "You know what? I ain't gonna work with that guy," and they never booked him again. So that was it. Everyone was professional.
Yeah, no, they kept because and also they knew at that point they had something really good going. They were in part of the biggest, like that was the biggest time in the business period, business wise.
But that was the whole thing. Like now that Vince McMahon's gone, yeah, we wanted the guy out of there. But you know what? This is showing you why it worked so well for 40 years. He was the warden. He was the guy. It was like, you're not going to mess around backstage because you got to deal with Vince. With Tony Khan, he's like, "Hey guys, you can just do whatever we want backstage." All right, Tony, I'm going to fucking kill that guy. Oh, great, cool.
Tony wants
the biggest problem is he lets everybody say what they want, do what they want, no repercussions, and
the shoe promo shit, like the real shit. Like Eddie Kingston just buried Punk the other day on a radio show. That shit's got to stop because these guys are cutting shoe promos.
Your talent burying.
These guys are cutting shoe. Yeah, they're burying each other when they're not even going to work together.
Was it Eddie Kingston that did? Was it Eddie Kingston that did it? I thought it was Bobby Fish or whatever. That did
no, that's him today.
Bobby Fish is doing it too.
Oh.
That's so many people like this week is like spoke down on him. It's ridiculous. But I know I read it what Kingston said, and he was pretty much like, "I don't like him." And then he talked about a couple other people he didn't like. Apparently, he doesn't like Jericho or Bryan or like hell. Kingston doesn't like half the.
He doesn't like anybody that's overweight and wearing bowling gear for the wrestling attire.
So it's just like you can like Tony Khan's trying to be like the young, hip, cool, relatable boss kind of thing, but you could be that way but still be stern and be a boss.
Yo, when the clock is up, when everyone clocks out, you could be that guy. When everyone clocks in, it's like, yo, we got a show to run.
When you got to put the foot,
we have a TV rights deal that's going to be up in another year. We got Discovery that just just merged with WB, and they're fucking everything up right now. You think
you gotta imagine what those people are thinking, like seeing all this like go down. They're like, we don't want to re-sign these deals. Like,
no, it's terrible. It's a terrible look, right? Like terrible look. Whether Punk's in the right or in the wrong, the fact that your biggest star is like there's like headlines of him throwing punches and fighting people back. It's just not
right.
not good.
But at the same time, I've seen a lot, and this has got to stop too. A lot of people are like wishing death on AEW and like pretty much saying, "Oh, they're done. Like this is it." Like people got to stop saying that too, because like at the end of the day, like they're still going to like as long as they get that TV deal, they're gonna still run shows. You know. So like I've seen all week people are saying, "Oh, AEW's done. This is the death of AEW." Like that's just got to stop too.
If
like,
this was, yeah, I agree.
People are just like wishing death on it, and it's kind of ridiculous because like before
they had place to work,
still
I don't want this place to fucking die.
The fact of the matter is, whether you like or hate AEW, having AEW around is good for business. It's good for competition. It's good. Yes, it's an alternative. It's good. It's good to have both WWE and AEW around because it gives people options.
We lived 20 years without competition, and it was really bad.
Yes, and now that these guys, like, you can have a lot of people, people talk shit on Cody for jumping ship, but I mean, maybe he saw the right, like maybe he had issues with the Bucks. Apparently, there's a lot of stuff with the Bucks that hasn't come out yet, with other issues with other people in the company over the last.
Well, that was the whole thing, though. Like when Cody left, we heard, that it was because he had a falling out with the Bucks.
Yeah,
but
we didn't know it was.
We don't necessarily know to what extent.
Yeah, to what extent?
Yeah, because Cody never really said like why he left. It was just like.
But also, Cody was like the key figure, like out of all of them. So
but also it was like Cody kept it professional. He waited till his contract was out, and he just, instead of wreaking havoc and talking shit, he just fucking was like, I'm just gonna fucking leave. And he has every right to do so. That's why competition's a good thing. Then WWE saw what he was doing in AEW, made him probably an offer with a lot of zeros, and he fucking said, "See."
Yeah. And now he's gonna be world champion.
Yes, but it's like it's just, I don't understand. It's just crazy. And
honestly,
really
I swear I feel this way. If Cody was still in AEW, I don't even think this would have happened. Like, I feel like he would have been like, all right, let's like stop this, like cut it out. Like, I feel like he would have been there and probably like
be the
mediator, someone down, because
I'm reading on Twitter, Cody left because of Punk. It's like, no, he didn't. They're friends. Cody probably left because of the Bucks.
One of his last promos,
he signed an NDA, so we'll never know.
The Dynamite where the ladders were in the ring, he was about to have that match with Guevara. He literally spent like 5 minutes, literally like praising CM Punk.
Yeah,
saying like the pipe bomb was like the greatest thing of this like generation, and like this and that. He literally like looks up to Punk.
There's a ton of people in the back that respect Punk and look up to Punk, and there's maybe a ton of people he's rubbed the wrong way, but that's just CM Punk. He's CM Punk anywhere he's gone. He's rubbed people the wrong way.
When you're
guys in the business, like some people like him and some people don't. That's just the nature of the business.
When you're a top guy in the business, you're gonna have a lot of enemies. That's just the main thing, The Rock had people, Shawn Michaels and stuff when he was
Triple H. I mean,
Catch Traction.
I remember
Steve Austin.
Yeah,
Hogan, I remember everybody.
Yeah, I remember when Punk was in OVW. I remember Paul Heyman saying that they wanted CM Punk fired the first week in OVW. He was in OVW for a week, and they wanted.
Oh, there's stories dating back to Ring of Honor. I saw on Twitter. Kevin, like this was like a long time ago. I don't even think he was signed with WWE at the time, but Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, whatever, he did like a shoot like video or like interview or whatever, and he was telling a story about in Ring of Honor. He was like wearing a, Gabe Sapolsky at the time was like the booker of ROH or whatever. Mm-hmm. He was wearing, shirts like he does now, like t-shirts, where he wanted him to stop wearing shirts and wear singlets. So he started doing that. A couple weeks goes by, he walks up to him like, hey, I feel more comfortable wearing shirts. Can I like, go back to wearing shirts? He was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So like, but out of respect, he decided to go ahead and keep wearing singlets anyways. Well, like after a match, Kevin was like blown up. Punk was in the back. The locker rooms are small. So like everybody was kind of like around planning shit, talking shit out. And like Punk made like a comment, and like Steen like responded back, and I guess Punk thought he had like an attitude, and they almost came to blows. But come to find out, like it was blown out of proportion, and this and
Yeah,
that.
I
Which
remember
they're
that.
cool
They
now,
they
from what I
yeah they
believe.
talked it. Yeah, no, they talked it out, and they've been cordial ever since then. Like they have a mutual respect
Well,
with one
Owens
another.
posted that photo the other day of him main eventing against Steve Austin at WrestleMania as like a dig at Punk.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, again, I get that, but at the end of the day, I think at least as far as like them mutually, I think they're fine. I think people are gonna do. I mean, again, people are gonna do what they're gonna do, but yeah, man. It's just it's just a very unfortunate thing. But there was like, but yeah, anywhere Punk's gone, there's been because Punk does have an ego about himself and a bit of a cockiness. But I mean, you kind of have to have that in the world of wrestling at times. I think sometimes maybe does he
Well,
go
most guys
overboard?
on that roster does.
Yeah,
Guevara, I can name like 5 people. I mean, I have to look, but hell, most guys on that roster has like an ego issue. Like it's nothing new.
yeah. So it it just like I said, hopefully it can get sorted out. I can't. I just hope it. You know, I don't know, man. I
I
just
just hope
wanted
Punk
all
stays
the
because
fucking.
like one of my friends was telling me, "Oh, I could see him going back to WWE." I can't because he's not cool with Triple H. Maybe
He's
if
not
Vince was
going
still in
back.
charge, maybe, but with Triple H in charge, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like if Punk,
He's not.
if Punk gets fired or leaves or whatever, his wrestling career is done.
well,
That's
that's
what
the
I'm saying.
whole
Like,
thing. Like
I've been hearing it.
they basically
Like,
nuked his career
guys-
because now people in WWE gonna think he's too toxic. Dude,
Yeah.
when Punk was doing the WWE show before what was
backstage.
the backstage show, they had Charlotte Flair on there with him, right? She was sitting next to him and he was talking about the matches. I'm reading on
Yeah.
Twitter, somebody wrote, "Oh, I'm shocked how Punk handled Charlotte. He didn't give her any problems." And I'm like, it's a fucking show.
Why would he give her problems?
Why would he give her problem? Like, it's just stupid. People are dumb.
His job is was to interview people and talk about the matches. That's what his
Exactly.
job was.
Oh,
Give his
And, like,
opinion and thoughts.
I'm
Like
surprised he handled her well. It's like, what?
yeah, it's
He
that's
wasn't
so.
even with the
People are
company.
fucking
at the
nuts
time.
on Twitter.
yeah, that was a
Yeah.
plot
going crazy.
thing. Like I mean, yeah, he probably
was-
talked to like a couple people in WWE, but that was like a whole Fox thing. That had nothing. He was under contract
under
with Fox.
contract.
That was
Yeah, with Fox.
nothing
Yeah,
to do with
exactly.
he said it himself. He only talked to people. The only people that were tied to WWE that he talked to were people that were on the show.
Exactly.
And
Right.
other than that, he talked to only Fox executives, and that was it.
By the way, happy
So-
birthday to Trainwreck in the chat room.
Oh, happy birthday, Train.
We got
Happy
everybody in there.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
We got Hockey Fan. We got Jamie on. We got What Just Happened. We got Trainwreck. We got Frank in here. We got Richard in here. We'll get to the questions in a little bit.
The full house is here.
But these guys are on limited
But,
time, so we're just gonna get right with the show here.
But yeah, no, so I hope that that Punk stays like you said. He's not gonna go anywhere. He's literally. I mean, he's not gonna go
He's
anywhere
going
else.
to his
And I don't
house.
think Tony Khan's gonna let him go unless if he has to. Like,
Right.
because he makes Tony a lot of money.
Apparently
Yes.
got him a lot of
Yeah.
deals too, like endorsements and stuff like that. So.
Endorsements and at the same time, they're paying Punk pretty nicely over there.
The
So he
injury
wants.
Which,
might
if I may
be
add, this was kind of funny. In the media scrum, he was like, "The only 2 people have made me money. You're
More
not
money
there
yet."
yet." You know, he was talking to Khan was Vince
Yeah.
and Colt. I don't
Yeah.
buy that. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. I mean, yeah, I know that podcast they did back in the day probably made Colt a lot of money, but come on, I mean,
there was other things though that like there was certain like anytime that he was on the podcast, Colt would make merch about Punk and Punk, to be credit, Punk never asked him for royalties from it. I guess Punk just was trying to help a buddy out
right.
and just
Yeah.
and let him keep like because he made like the what was it, the I'm a Colt Cabana guy shirts. I think there was hey Colt Cabana, how you doing shirts from the Pipe Bomb. There was other stuff like certain inside jokes from the podcast. A few times when Punk was on, he sold merch based off of that. So again, it was like I get what he was saying indirectly. I don't know if he's made more money than Khan has made off of fucking Punk, but I get what he was talking about Colt Cabana. So he was just trying to bring it up during the
I think my thing is like, you know, he got hurt during the match. That's already been like confirmed.
I
that
think
tope
that's a
he
blessing in
did, and
disguise, though, because now that he's injured, he's out for 9 months. Maybe that'll give them time to cool off, and they won't
yeah,
fire him immediately.
Wait, is he sidelined for
Yeah.
9 months with the injury?
yes, it was a
Yeah, what was it,
tricep
like a
injury, I believe,
tricep?
tricep.
Yeah, completely off the bone. So was Christian Cage, by the
Ugh.
way, on the same
Yeah,
show.
so he's looking at 6 to 9 months recovery time.
Yes.
Jesus,
So
man.
I don't think they're gonna fire him. I think they're just gonna let him be gone.
Yeah,
They,
I mean,
If you look during the media scrum, he was like icing that area like of his arm, like
Yeah.
he was like seen holding like ice to it. So like
he held
I
his
don't know.
hand
I
like
feel
this.
like he knew he was hurt.
yeah,
He was pissed
Yeah.
off. Like he saw the guy, and he just got tired of hearing about it, and he just kind of went off the rails. I
Well,
agree. Tony should have tried to change the subject, cut the mic, like done something
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you just won the world title. Let's talk about that." Like,
You know
I
what
don't know.
made it
There's
worse
so
for
many
Tony
things
Khan,
that could have
though?
been done, and Khan just like sat back, and it's hilarious because like his facial expressions changed like 20 times during the whole thing. Like
He was
went
just
from
waiting for a
happy to
hug.
sad to like holy shit to like
Yeah.
whoa to like I'm
I get it.
done. Like
Right.
it was hilarious, but
yeah.
You know what the problem with Tony
it's just,
Khan was?
I don't know. If I was in TK's shoes, I definitely would have done something. Like there's
Yeah.
literally something he could have done. I mean, and it could have honestly probably prevented the whole thing.
Right.
It
But
could have just been like cut the mic.
the
or
problem with
whatever.
Tony Khan was he kept shaking his head like, yes, yes, yes. And we're sitting
I mean,
there,
granted,
me
he
and Frank
did
are sitting
try
there
to
like, what's going
talk
on?
and like Punk like spoke over him, but like you're the boss. Like, have a backbone.
Oh, 100%.
Be like,
yeah, that was
look,
very
Right.
dumb.
And then there was kids in that room. Like hell, I think one of the girls that EB like asked Punk a question. Wasn't she like 15, 16? Like, and he was sitting there like dropping F-bombs and like fuck you, fuck him, fuck this,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
Fuck Ron
Yeah.
Francis.
Yeah, it was a messy situation. It's just, and it hurts me, man, because like it's the one time where like, I'm able to, like, I'm not able to catch AEW live all the time, but like I'm been keeping up with the AEW product, and I've been, like actually enjoying watching wrestling again. And it's
it was just, I don't know. It sucks for me as a fan because I watched Double or Nothing. I saw him win the title live. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. A week later, he gets injured. He comes back, loses, and I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna win it back at Chicago. He did. Then MJF came out. I'm like, yes, because that was like my feud of the year. Like that dog collar match at Revolution is probably like my favorite match this
oh,
year.
dude, that
Like
build
that
was
match
insane.
was, and it's
Build
awesome
and match
because
was crazy.
last week Jazzwares actually revealed that they're making a figure based off that. So that's like fucking sick. But like that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite matches of the year, favorite programs, favorite feuds. And I'm like, all right, I'm excited. Like Punk's back, MJF's back. Like let's fucking go. And then literally 12 hours later, it's
Not
gone.
even. I mean,
All
literally
goes to hell.
literally the talk of the night should have been MJF coming back, and immediately at the press conference, it was all this, and it just took away from MJF's moment. MJF is one of my
It took
favorite
away from a lot of stuff.
performers.
I mean, hell,
Like,
he got cheered in Chicago. Like that's not like something to like just kind of like glance over. Like,
dude,
he
it's
got
insane.
a
I loved
crazy
it.
reaction.
Yeah. You got a great reaction in Buffalo too, and then
Oh yeah, for
he
sure.
tried to turn them,
Have y'all
but
seen
they were
that
like still
promo?
cheering.
That promo was actually good stuff. He was like, "I'll
It
take this title, go
was-
to a real wrestling company,
Until he said that.
Yeah.
face real
Until he
wrestlers."
said that.
And then he was like, "I'll go work for a con that was like what has more money, jolly old Saint Nick." Like it was good shit. And then he was like, to quote the game, "It's best for business." Like,
Yeah, it was very I don't know.
he even name dropped Cody Rhodes. Like,
Want to thank RWK88 for the $1.99 super chat. He said, "What's up?" or "Was
What's
up?"
up?
What's up?
Eh,
The old
Right.
But
commercials.
yes, the Budweiser. They have a Budweiser, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Budweiser, and then the Dudleys had
Yeah.
those guys on SmackDown. Then they stole the catchphrase.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I have to get going in like a minute. But so I just wanted to just wrap up for my part. But thank you guys for letting me on. By the way, even though it was a short, time,
Nick.
but I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
But I really am just I really hope it gets settled. Once the suspensions are over, they're able to kind of get a meeting and kind of sort the shit out, because all these guys are too fucking talented that have little bullshit like this fuck up a good thing they got going.
Right,
All
there's
these guys are
bad
so
news
talented.
bear shit.
Yeah, and it's just hopefully for the fans' sake, because the fans are really the ones that get fucked here.
Yeah.
If for the fans' sake, they're able to sort out their differences and just put it by. Like I said, they don't have to be best. They're not going to be best friends afterwards. All I'm saying is you put together you put aside your differences, for the sake of the business, and you just you stay cordial at work, and that's it. You don't have to go out and
I
fucking
feel
have
like, once cooler heads prevail, this can make some money later on down the road.
Yes,
like they do
yes.
FTR
Yeah,
and Punk
that's what we're all
versus the Elite.
saying.
Yeah, exactly. Like try to take some of this bullshit and make it into
and
a
turn it
profit.
into a positive. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just and everybody can make money off of it. So hopefully that happens. But yeah, man, because I guess, and I'm the biggest Punk fan there is, so I want to see him keep wrestling, because he's been my favorite wrestler.
Waited 7 years and.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no one literally. You got him. He said he was never going to come back to wrestling, and you got him to come back to wrestling. He's there.
I watched the only time I ever watched Rampage was that, and I saw that, and I jumped out of my seat. I can't believe it.
That guy that was crying when he came back is crying now.
That he came back. Feel real. Hell, I haven't had time to let it set in, and he's already gone again. So
yeah, man, it's just you got the golden ticket, you got the golden goose or whatever. You got the guy that you thought you weren't gonna be able to get back. He's back,
right?
And
it's funny because even a few years ago, he said that he would want to face Kenny in the Bucks. If anybody could bring him back in the business, it was them three guys.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they said that they did interviews back in the day where they were like, yeah, no, we would love to work with Punk.
And I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, back when AEW just first got the deal on TNT and stuff like that, they were texting Punk, weren't they? Offering him
they were trying to get him
come in, and he was like, "Oh, I don't do it over the phone, this and that."
Yeah. You got to make him and the Bucks and Khan were texting Punk hey, you got to you got to come over, you got to come here, and he was like, "I don't do deals over the phone," kind of thing. So but he said that in his interview, I think with Ariel Helwani, but one of the interviews he did, but he was just yeah, but so this was something that obviously shit hit the fan or shit went sour when once Punk got there and they just rubbed heads. But that's why I think that they could come to a common ground. Like I said, they don't have to be as cool as they used to be, but come to a common ground and put the shit behind them. And then, like you said, later on down the line, you can revisit this on TV and make a fucking shit ton of money, and you can do big business and pop a huge rating and a huge buy rate. And
a real close friend of mine actually threw me this idea, and it would be really smart money. Jim Cornette, he's not a fan of the Elite either.
No.
And everybody's always wanted Cornette to manage FTR. He's a big fan of FTR. He likes Punk. I would have Cornette basically manage them three guys and do a whole program with the Elite. I think it would be good, smart money.
Camp Cornette 2.0, man.
Yeah, that would be huge. That would be huge and make a lot of money. But I don't think Cornette would ever do it.
I might get Paul Heyman, because apparently they ain't bringing him back anytime soon. He's waiting to come back, WWE, and they're like, yeah, just stay home, Paul, for right now. So maybe they're going to get rid of him, even though that would be a bad move for them and a great move for Tony Khan.
Oh, yeah. No, that would be a terrible move. But, yeah, so we'll see what happens. But, and I will say, this is about, I think that not just AEW, I think that wrestling right now is in a decent spot. I think that, AEW, I've been liking what AEW's been doing, even though the pay-per-view itself was kind of but I did enjoy a lot of the things on it.
It was too damn long.
Too long.
Yeah, it was too long.
The matches were too long.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with WWE. I mean, again, we might know what happens, might not know what happens, but it's gonna be interesting to see how that unfolds. It's something I'm cautiously optimistic about WWE, but we'll see what happens there. But I think wrestling's in a good fucking spot.
Yeah.
And it's just, I hope that, this is good. Like, both companies being like, if we can get to a point where both AEW and WWE are both successful and thriving, that's good for the fucking business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's good for
No,
these
that's
wrestlers.
good for
And
us
it's
'cause
good.
we can watch it all.
Yes.
So, like,
Yeah. So it's like, and it's good for us. So it's like, I hope that, because Punk leaving would be a huge fucking blow to the company, and it would be a huge blow. I'm not saying it would, like I said, I'm not going to be preying on
and if
AEW's
the Bucks
downfall.
leave, that would be a huge blow.
Yeah,
so, like,
no, we
it's a
want
lose-lose
all this.
situation.
We want all these guys to stay and continue to make money for the company. It's just hopefully,
Like, I'm not
Cool
the
as
biggest
prevail.
fans of the Bucks, and Kenny's all right, but like, I mean, I know their worth. Like, I know that they bring in a lot of money,
yeah.
and good,
Oh yeah, and they're
they
no,
do good work. So, like,
Yeah,
I may not
no.
be the biggest fans of them, but I know, that's a lot of AEW's fan base. Is
Oh
the
yeah,
elite fans. So, I mean,
oh yeah, the AEW fan base for the first fans were brought in because of what those guys were doing. Like, that's why
yeah.
they are there. That was their foundation at first, and it's like, now it's since grown since then. But if you lose, like, say if you're a casual fan and you watch for CM Punk and he leaves, and if you're a diehard indie fan or whatever, you watch AEW for the Bucks and Kenny Omega and shit, and they leave,
then you
what
lost your hardcores
you
and your
and your casuals, and you don't. That's it's that's just a recipe for disaster at that point.
Well, look at what happened when Punk did the backstage show. Fox wanted him on SmackDown. And Triple H and those guys and Vince McMahon said no. They're like, we don't want him. And Fox is like, but we want him on SmackDown. And they were like, no, we don't want him in our locker room. So to have this guy in AEW is great. Because I get to see him. And I'll be honest with you guys. I like the Elite. I like those guys too. But you know what? If they get rid of CM Punk, this is what they were building to. They were building and getting guys like CM Punk.
Yes.
If they get rid of CM Punk, what the fuck am I going to watch it for?
Yeah.
Because anybody that comes in that they don't like, or any other superstars that come in that have a problem, they're just going to get rid of again. So what's the point? It's like fucking TNA.
I'm not going to lie. I wasn't I watched AEW here and there, but I wasn't fully invested in it until Punk came in, and I'm like, all right, I'm no pun intended, but I'm all in. Like,
I was literally all in because I knew it was going to lead to him coming back, and when he came back, I was like,
there you go.
I mean, and he said that he was going to come back sooner, but COVID and everything kind of fucked it all up. Right. But he was going to be back sooner. It's just he wanted to do that in front of a live crowd, which makes complete sense.
Yeah, and no, it just. I was gonna say, but yeah, no, it should lead to it should have, like you said, it should have led to them getting superstars like Punk, established names like Punk and other people
because
to come
what
in.
Happens if they get somebody else like
Brian?
They're gonna get rid of them. They get tired of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you got to have those people if you're going to be a competing company. You got to have those.
I hate when people say, "Oh, it's a WWE guy coming to AEW." Motherfucker,
no.
If a restaurant has a bunch of waiters and that restaurant burns down, and those waiters go to another restaurant, they don't go, "Oh, you're from so and so diner. You can't. Yeah, you're not invited into our locker." It's like, dude, they're all fucking
very
wrestlers.
Disgusting. It's very disgusting.
Stupid. It's really dumb.
It's very stupid that
if you work
think
retail and you get fired from Best Buy and you go work at Circuit City, even though Circuit City doesn't exist anymore, they're not going to say, you're that guy from Best Buy. They're going to be like, hey, man, how you doing? Whatever. That's it.
It's not like Impact back in the day when they had a lot of old washed up guys from back in WCW that no one wanted to see, that could barely walk. These guys are perfect.
That was different.
Capable of having good matches.
Yes. That was different. A lot of the guys that AEW are getting are guys that people still want to see, guys that can still go, guys that can still do this. Impact was signing a bunch of dudes that no one really gave a fuck
nasty
about.
Boys, who the fuck wanted to see the Nasty Boys in Impact?
Fucking Nasty Boys beat the Dudleys.
Beat the Dudley Boys.
Well, that was another thing, is that a lot of those guys that were bringing in were beating their homegrown talent, that people knew and loved, and it's
Tony Khan is actually doing the opposite. I don't know if you've caught on to that. He's bringing guys in, and he's having his guys beat them.
Yeah.
Daniel Garcia beat Bryan, and now they're using that as the whole
Which,
gimmick for the fucking
I know this is off
pure
topic,
title.
but the future is very bright. My honest opinion, Daniel Garcia, like the future is very bright. I see a lot of potential in Garcia.
I do
Yeah.
too.
He's damn good. Damn
Yeah.
good.
They have a lot of potential there. That's what you want out of a wrestling company. You
Like,
want a
hell,
wrestling
I'm
company
even a
with
fan of Wardlow. Like they come, he
Yeah.
comes walking out, they're chanting his name. He's about to do the power bombs, and everybody's doing the sympathy, like the thing in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like
That's the thing too. I'm a fan of like I think with AEW, a perfect company has a good mix of veterans and younger talent that and the veterans are there to make the younger talent help them grow and help them become better. That's the perfect company, and I think that's what AEW has right now. And it's hopefully it doesn't go to shit. But I have to get going.
Really quick,
Thank you
Nick.
guys for having me on.
Really
Yes.
quick, hockey fan says it's been a long time, Nick. Hope you're doing good, brother. Just wanted to let you know
Thank
that.
you, man. I appreciate that, hockey fan. It has been a while. I'm glad. My life's just so my schedule's so fucking hectic, man. It's kind of crazy, and I've been doing my own streaming shit as well on the side. So it's just been
Where are you
it's been
streaming
a
at?
lot. Twitch.tv/the Nick Luzzi, TheNickLuzzi. What's my name? Been fun over there, man. It's been a lot of fun, and done a bunch of charity streams, done a bunch of 24-hour streams and stuff like that. So it's been really cool. And I don't really have a schedule. I just go live whenever I have free time, really, because my schedule's so hectic. So if you ever want to come by and check it out, come by and check it out. It's a lot of fun. But I appreciate you guys for letting me come on. I miss talking
Thanks for
about this
coming
shit.
on.
And hopefully we can do a follow-up when everything hopefully smooths over and that way. So I will talk to you guys. Have a good night and have a good show. I'll be in the chat. So
All right, cool.
Yeah.
all right, later, man.
Nick.
Peace.
Nick.
Thanks
Take
for coming
care,
on.
man.
All right.
The Nick has come back, and now he's
That
left.
was unexpected. I wasn't expecting him to pop in.
Now the real show begins. No, I'm kidding.
After dark.
Yeah, right. What are we doing with how does this end? I'm gonna go with Eli first, then I'll go with Romeo.
Okay, so this is how I think I see this. So they're both gone. Punk's out for 9 months. I don't know how long the Bucks are going to be out. I don't know if they're going to be about the same amount of time.
Well,
or
they're
more.
doing an investigation, just so you know, so it could take a while.
So
Yeah. There's pending lawsuits and legal stuff. It's literally just like they got to get everybody's side of the story before they can even make a decision on what the hell to do.
Right. For the benefit of the business, when these guys do come back and they do all come in and meet together in one room and they talk it over, they've got to squash it. Tony's got to get with both groups. He's got to squash it. He's got to be like, look, Punk, we need you. You're the top guy right now. You're the veteran we want to use, to help put these younger guys over. These guys are the EVPs. You guys got to talk this over, because this whole thing, especially if there's going to be legal stuff, it's going to involve obviously AEW as a company. So it's going to affect the business. It's going to affect guys in the back that are working there. And it can all come to a head. It can go to, probably the worst case scenario, AEW, he decides to close it, whatever. Or, but they gotta come to a head. They gotta come to an agreement. They gotta talk it over, and Tony, he's got to start putting his foot down with his talent, because if something like this happens again with other talent, and not even the Bucks and the other talent, it could be any of the talent.
No one's gonna want to work with Tony.
He's got to put him down.
These television companies are gonna be like, we don't want this. We ain't airing this shit.
I forgot who said this, but somebody once said that if you don't take control of the talent will take control of you.
Yep.
You let the boys run wild, you'll never be able to get control of them. You got to know how to put your foot down as a boss, as a booker, or whatever, the man in charge. so the guys don't get out of hand, because once you lose control of them, then you can't really do anything at that point.
And the thing with AEW is we need more locker room leaders to step up. Like back 10, 15 years ago, we had guys like Undertaker, guys, that actually was like, that like kept like, everybody in good spirits, and like stepped up when needed, and like, like kind of made sure everything as far as the back, like, like ran good. We just need more people to actually step up and like be a positive influence in the back instead of like trying to like instigate and like shoot on people.
Right.
Like,
I can see where AEW is very cliquish, because I'm in the business myself. I see people. I watch Dark. I see the people that come in on Dark. I know a lot of the people that have wrestled on Dark, and I know like the people that they're close with, like a lot of the people that I've seen. So I can see that AEW can tend to be very cliquish, to where certain guys are like, oh, hey, give this guy a shot or whatever. But I think this situation kind of shows you how dangerous that mentality is, that whole click kind of mentality, and Perry talks about it a lot too, and where it can be their downfall. And I think again, that's where
That's
Tony's
what
got
hurt
to put his foot down and be
WCW, my
like,
man. You had Hogan's click, you had Nash's click, you had Flair's click, you had the Animals click.
right.
Then you had Russo's click, then you had Bischoff's click. I mean, forget it. It killed the company because these guys were calling HR on each other back and forth. They're filing lawsuits on each other. Like, it was ridiculous.
Guys are booking their own shit. They're just like, oh, I'll just walk out on Nitro and then hopefully we'll have a match type shit. Like, stuff was not organized back then.
No.
The NWO used to like just run in on Thunder like every match. The fucking NWO guys weren't out. Like that was just the thing that happened, because that was all the guys.
But what I'm saying
clashing.
is like these backstage clicks, they destroyed the company.
Yep.
Yeah.
And AEW, yeah, you can have your guys backstage in their own little groups, but Vince McMahon was the warden. You got to have Tony Khan be the warden, or he's got to hire someone to be the warden. Somebody from the outside that's not in wrestling, but knows a little bit about what's going on in wrestling. Right. You can't hire a suit to be the warden, because forget it. We saw how that worked out with that Mark Carrano guy, right? WWE. The guy was stealing the fucking belts and saying, oh, yeah, we lost the belts on the road. And his girlfriend ratted him out. She said, yeah, he's got all the belts in his living room.
He's stealing the belts.
And I saw something to where, like, I don't know, if it's like 100% confirmed, probably not. But like maybe a guy like Tony Schiavone, or just like somebody to kind of like be, as far as like, because Tony's got a lot of shoes to fill.
Right.
And even if like somebody like a Schiavone or somebody can just like take off just like a little bit of the pressure, he can actually like do the behind the scenes stuff, and then have like the wardens and like just somebody to kind of like be in charge of like everybody in the back, keep everybody in line, and make sure everything just kind of like runs smoothly.
Regal's there. They got Regal.
Yeah, but you can't really trust him because
Jerry.
Regal's gonna go right back to WWE now. Like you can't really trust Regal anymore. But I would say like a guy that I would say Arn Anderson, but I don't think he wants to do the job at his age, because WWE ain't gonna go crazy to go grab Arn Anderson. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a guy that's gonna be an anchor. Like he ain't going anywhere. Regal, yeah, he's gonna go back to WWE. We all know it. The minute his contract is up, they're gonna grab him, because he was helping book NXT. They got Road Dogg back, which I told everyone that was gonna happen. Everyone's like, he's not gonna bring Road Dogg back. And he brought Road Dogg back. It's his buddy. That's fine. He's getting his crew back together. But he's going to grab Regal. Don't think he won't. He'll pay him out the ass to come back. Guaranteed. You got to get somebody that's not desirable in the other place. That's a veteran that people are going to respect. And I think Arn Anderson would be good. The thing is, though, he's older, and does he want to deal with that shit? I would have said Jim Ross, but Jim Ross would have to be 20 years younger Jim Ross to do this type of job. And even 20 years ago, he was having a pain in the ass problem with it, because of he had to manage all these guys like Hogan. on that match, but he had to be talent relations dude to all these guys like Hogan and Austin. The minute they had a problem, it was a nightmare for that guy. So I could see him like, that's just, and now at his age, like he can't do it. Like leave the guy alone. Just let him announce and do what he's got to do. And that's another thing too. I don't like how they're not using him. They're like Tony Khan acts like this is SmackDown 2009 all over again, where they're changing announcers every fucking week. It's like, guys, Jim Ross brings everybody to the dance. Use him until he's no longer usable. And I'm tired of these fucking fans.
Like hell, he be on the pay-per-view. Like he didn't come out and
called him Cesaro, so fire him. It's like, okay, if JR calls him Cesaro and WWE files suit against AEW, which they can't do because they're not promoting him as Cesaro.
Right.
That's Tony Khan's problem. You know what I mean? Who cares if he fucks up the names? The guy worked with these guys for 20 years in the other company. Who cares? Right. So, I don't know. It's just stupid. I'm just getting fucking tired of the internet, though. They bring back Goldberg, right?
Yep.
And I grew up with Goldberg, right? He was great. But the internet's like, oh, he can't work. It's like, okay, motherfucker. We've known for like 40 fucking years the guy can't work. But he's Bill Goldberg. He's one of the greatest fucking superstars in the Attitude Era.
And like with Cody, like, you know, in his last little run in AEW, everybody hated him. He was getting like, shut the fuck up chants. Like, everybody wanted him to turn heel. No one like gave a fuck about him. But as soon as he jumped ship, oh, he's amazing. Oh, like,
well, that's the whole thing. And you know what I see here, Romeo? I see a lot of WWE guys pretending that they're concerned AEW citizens and they want CM Punk fired. You know why they want CM Punk fired? Because they don't want AEW people having something to fucking look forward to.
Yep.
All right.
Because what did we see before Triple H took over NXT, WWE? We saw all these CM Punk warned us against Vince McMahon and Johnny Ace. We saw all those memes on Twitter. Now we're seeing the reverse. We're seeing when Triple H is cutting promos on Punk. It's like, Triple H warned us about CM Punk. It's like, go fuck yourselves, okay? You guys are just as bipolar as the Big Show.
Yeah.
That's what I hate about wrestling fans. They're just pieces of shit now. And I go on Twitter, I'm like, I don't even want Twitter. I need it because I need the gaming deals from this Wario64 guy. But besides that, I'm getting all this stuff in my timeline. I'm like, I don't even follow these wrestling guys. And it's all shitting on CM Punk. And it's like, why? Who cares? You really care about this guy so much? I care that he's on TV and I go watch it. But the same thing with Sting. Oh, we don't want to, they shouldn't bring Sting back. He's too fucking old, right? Sting's jumping off the fucking thing. Sting's doing ECW.
But yeah, he's having fucking
He's doing Terry Funk shit.
Like, Sting can actually still, like, go.
Sting is probably having a better run now than he did in WCW. In WCW, he had no direction.
Impact, like.
Oh, yeah, right? Impact, remember Joker's thing? That was a great idea, Russo. He fucking ripped it off Batman. I don't know, man. I think they AEW has a lot of great things going for it, and they are there, and they're on their way to better things. But they got to get this locker room thing straightened out because you need the Elite and you need CM Punk. You need all these guys.
I feel like what needs to happen, just investigate it. You know, discipline accordingly. You know,
right.
Punk, you know, he's probably going to be out for 6 to 9 months. Just apparently him and TK had a meeting like Tuesday or something. But I feel like he just needs to go away. I believe he needs to have surgery. So get his surgery, heal up, just cool off. And then just whenever both parties feel like it's a good time to bring him back, bring him back.
The problem is you have the locker room.
As far as the Bucks go, I do agree that they need to be stripped of their EVP titles, all 3 of them.
And their 6-man titles.
They already stripped them, dumbass.
They already did that.
Yeah, Death Triangle. But yeah, just let everybody cool off. When he feels like everybody's, you know, had enough time, bring them back. And but they got to have a sit down and be like, look, we can't have nothing like this happen again. Like, this isn't good press, and we're just trying to make money. Let's make money, and I feel like the stars are the limit for AEW. Like they could be as big as they want to be. I mean, hell, they proved it this week. They drew like 1 point something million with no Bucks, no Elite, no Punk. I mean, granted, some of that was probably because of like, all the BS, but I mean, still, like, if they could just get everybody on the same page, it would be good shit. Everybody's just gotta get their head out there.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
People got fucking legit pissed
And Tony
off.
Khan's gonna have to start getting a backbone and quit letting these guys control him. He's the boss. Start, like, if something's going a way that you don't want it to go, put your foot down and be like, no. Quit letting guys shoot on each other. Quit letting guys just go out there and saying whatever they want to say. There's a reason why Vince did that with most people, because of stuff like this. Like, you can't just have every single guy go out there and just say whatever.
Yeah.
Like, give them an outline. Be like, this is the points. Talk about these points, but put it in your own words. Like, you got to quit letting guys just go out there and, like, go into business for themselves, because shit like this is going to keep happening.
Well,
yeah.
People tuned in because they thought Tony Khan was going to fire CM Punk live on the air. And I'm like, why would he fucking fire this guy live on the air? This is not the Jeff Jarrett bullshit, which nobody saw that coming. Nobody knew Vince was going to fucking just say, yeah, Jeff Jarrett's fucking fired. I just bought the company. No one saw that coming. That was like, holy shit. Tony Khan's not going to be like, yes, CM Punk is fired. The Young Bucks are going to stay and kiss my ass. And life is good in the world. It was all these WWE guys, I guarantee, that tuned in that wanted. Because the minute he didn't fire him, what did I see in the live chats? And on Twitter, oh, Tony Khan didn't fire Punk. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? He killed wrestling. He killed the wrestling business. It's like, oh my God. Like, can you give the guy a chance to finish the investigation?
Because maybe he still wants this guy to work for him. Like, it's not that, like...
You're not going to fire a guy you just paid, like, $50 billion to freaking work for you. He's still in the contract.
And, like, what he did, it's not like it was the end of the fucking world at the same time. Like, yeah, he threw hands with someone backstage. It was unnecessary. It was... It shouldn't have happened, but at the same time, it's not like someone died or anything, It's not like someone got, like, seriously hurt.
Fucking Sid stabbed Arn Anderson with scissors and almost killed him. And they kept him in the fucking company. They're like, hey, you guys work it out, okay? I know you just almost got killed, but you get in the room and you work it out. And they worked it out.
And like I mentioned this on the show you did a couple nights ago, Perry.
Yeah.
If it comes out that Punk was the one that started it, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
If it comes out that the Bucks started it, I will agree with Punk that he was in the he was right to defend himself.
Right.
I mean, if I was him, I was sitting there in my locker room. I'm hurt. I just got hurt. Like, I just went off on national, like, TV pretty much. Like, I'm pissed off. Like, I just want to be left alone. And guys come in my locker room and, yeah, like, I'm already pissed off. Like, yeah, someone's probably going to get, like, their shit rocked. Like, I mean, it was the heat of the moment. I mean, shit happens. But at the same time, like, if something comes out,
big men.
The Bucks were just trying to talk to him, and then he, started throwing licks, then yeah, like, that was unnecessary. Mm-hmm. But, like, as far as, like, people just saying, like, arguing with people, oh, you're just CM Punk dick riders, this and that, like, no. It's just right now we don't know anything.
People are CM Punk haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of these people are pissed. When AJ quit,
people
they were like, CM Punk took her from us, and I'm like, she quit wrestling. What's that to do with him?
People are still upset in 2014 when he walked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are still salty about that.
Yeah.
And some people just can't let that go.
Were they salty that Triple H fired him on his wedding day too? A lot of people seem to forget that one. Yes, he walked out because he was fucking bruised and battered and ready to drop dead.
And they wouldn't give him time off at all. And he felt like he should have been higher on the card, which at the time, I mean, that's debatable. But
You know
they
what
had
I?
other
You
plans.
know what I love though.
Jobbing out to
I
guys.
love how wrestling fans will shit on a Goldberg or a CM Punk, but they'll praise a Chris Benoit,
Yep.
which
Well,
he
you
did
said it.
unspeakable things. But that's
Right.
okay because that needs to be acknowledged. Like, these people are fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah,
when I see
guys
that
wearing
shit online,
shirts,
I'm like,
holding
these people are fucking
signs.
mental.
Put him in the Hall of Fame with the
Yeah,
signs.
put your
It's
mom's
like, come
pussy in the
on.
Hall of Fame,
But
right?
and on the same token, Austin walked out in 2002 or whatever, and and then he came back and nobody was like, "Oh, fuck Austin!" Like,
Oh, but they're
this and
doing that now,
like,
by the way. Now I'm reading the Attitude Era was overrated. I'm reading that Steve Austin walked out because he didn't want to put over talent that needed to be put over. And I'm like, guys, that's totally not what happened. That's not why he walked out. He walked out because the company was fucking with him because the son-in-law came back into the picture.
Yep.
When it was the whole summer of Steve Austin in 2001. The minute Triple H came back in January, it was fucking over for Steve Austin because they weren't going to program him with Triple H. They wanted Triple H to have his own fucking run, which was a piece of shit, by the way, because he ended up fucking a corpse on live TV.
We did the whole 2000 review, the 2001 review. Freaking
Right.
Austin went from world champion to fucking jobbing
Jobber.
to like fucking Big Show and fucking
He started
Ric Flair,
losing
Bradshaw.
Survivor Series. What was it? Survivor Series? He started losing? And he was supposed to
right
lose at
after
WrestleMania to Scott Hall. That pissed him off even more. The Brock Lesnar thing was the straw that broke the camel's back because this guy he lost every pay-per-view except for WrestleMania, which he was originally supposed to lose, but threatened to walk out, and he did walk out the night after WrestleMania, after he won. But this guy was like, hey, Vince, I'll do the job, but we got to do this on pay-per-view and make some money. And Vince was like, no, ask me. And he's like, well, why am I even in King of the Ring when I was King of the Ring 6 years ago? Oh, need you to do this thing, right? And he goes, fuck you, I'm not doing it. It had nothing to do with Lesnar. It had nothing to do with him not wanting to put talent over. It was the fact that he's the biggest star in the fucking company, and you want him to lose not on pay-per-view, but on a random fucking show. They had Rock lose to Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have Rock's? Did they say, hey, Rock, I want you to lose to Lesnar on fucking Sunday Night Heat? You know what I mean? They said, no, Rock is the big main attraction for SummerSlam.
Right.
Had they did Brock Lesnar versus Steve Austin at SummerSlam for the title, I think Steve Austin would have said perfect.
Yep.
But no, you're gonna lose on Raw. It's Saturday night. Yeah, you're gonna lose. Or I think it was Monday, Sunday night or Monday. That because Austin called Vince at like 3:00 in the morning on a Monday or something. And Vince is like, that started my Monday, and I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you in the gym from like 2 a.m. until like 12:00 at night? I don't know. And then they demonized Stone Cold. They were like, oh, he walked out on his fans. They did the same thing to CM Punk. They did the same thing to Sasha and Naomi. They made them look like dog shit when they all left.
Yeah.
That's what WWE does. The minute you leave,
They embarrass you on your way out.
Oh, they screwed the fans over. Okay, yeah. No, you just didn't fuck with that guy to walk out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, his son-in-law had a legendary fucking title run that nobody remembers. They just remember it as the Reign of Terror of 2002.
I remember fucking that was when he destroyed like 20 guys' careers.
We got Grayson in here. We got Eddie in here. What's up, guys? I'll read the chat in a little bit. We just want to get through the show a little bit. But, yeah, it's just, I'm so tired of reading this shit. It's like revisionist history from the fans that didn't even watch it. I don't even think half these fans were born back then.
No.
But I'm sick of this shit.
People that are 20 years old now were like born.
Everything
when,
sucks.
Like,
Everything's negative.
was
If it's not a fucking
coming to an
45-minute wrestling match, it sucks. Nobody knows what a squash match is. Whenever there's a squash match now, people are like, oh, I got ripped off in that match. No, you didn't.
Like, hell, even a couple weeks ago when they did the 3-minute world title match on Dynamite, everybody's like, oh, AEW's dead. Like, fuck AEW. They just ruined AEW in 3 minutes. I'm like, are y'all going to let the story play out?
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's not like WWE where Bruce says for like 6 months, let it play out. Like, no, they do things right then and there, and then they capitalize on it. They were heading into a
can't
pay-per-view.
wait. Like, people expect instant gratification, and it's just like,
Right.
Can't put the world title on a guy just coming into the fucking business, because then it's like, what do you do with him after that? You know?
That's what WWE did with the women. Every time a woman came in, she won the battle royale and won the title. And it's like there's nowhere to go but down from here.
Like, hell,
Yeah.
it's honestly good that Cody kind of got hurt, because that way he can possibly, if he's ready in time, come back, win the Rumble, and get the big win at Mania. Like it.
Right.
But yet everybody, as soon as he came back, oh, they need to put the world title on him now. And I'm like, then what are you going to do after? Like, okay, he's going to beat Roman, then what are you going to do?
Yeah, give him
Like,
the belt for 8 years, like fucking
It's
brought
not
back.
going to
with
mean
him.
nothing if he doesn't win it at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, who's been champion for like 1,000 days. That's the rocket ship that's strapped on Cody Rhodes right there.
Yeah.
Like this guy's gonna be a megastar the minute he beats him at WrestleMania. So I don't know. It's just the fan base doesn't know how the hell these things work. And I'm not saying I know everything. I don't, because I really don't watch WWE anymore, but I follow what's going on in the headlines. I'm waiting a little bit to see Jamie on. Take care, buddy. Thanks for coming in. I'm waiting to see like how good it gets. You know,
Yeah.
if they're actually going to stick with stuff, or if they're going to pull the same shit they've been pulling for years. I don't think they're going to. I think things are going to change a little bit. But again, it's Triple H. He can't get over his own dick. Look at that interview he did with Ariel Helwani. Ariel from Little Mermaid. He said, oh yeah, AEW beat our developmental. Oh, you weren't promoting it as developmental before you left.
it was a third brand.
Third
Remember
brand.
Survivor Series 2019 when they won? Like,
Yeah.
Third fucking brand, man.
Third brand. That all went over there.
it's developmental.
Yeah, because he always downplays it. That's his problem. He can never just take 5 seconds and be like, you know, it sucks that we lost all our guys over there, but you know what? Maybe they'll come back, or we'll develop new stars and we'll bounce back. That's all the guy had to say. But no, he takes his little fucking digs like he always has, because he can't help himself. And people are like, oh my God, he's a changed man. Like, he hasn't changed shit.
And then
Same
I
guy.
honestly think it was on, like, I'm with you. I watch WWE here and there, but you know, I'm not invested in it like I used to be, because you know, I feel like it's just not what it used to be at all.
They beat us down too much. Every time we hung on with them, remember was a couple of years ago, they went on SmackDown and apologized that they were fucking with the fans. They literally acknowledged that their show was a piece of shit because they got
they had
1.6
I remember that. It was a Raw, because I was at work and in the break room. I remember that airing.
And they said, well, we're going to
change.
change.
Triple H and Stephanie, and I think Evie Shane came out there, or Vince,
Shane and
or
Vince,
whoever.
yeah.
And they were like, we're sorry we've been shit lately, but we're going to start giving the fans what they want.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks later, they kicked it off the draft, and then they fucked everybody over, and they didn't do shit. It was the same show. They just
treat everybody like they're kids, and they're stupid. And
then the fucking internet's like, oh, things are starting to change. They're out of brand. It's like, my God. And then you have, well, at least this guy's on TV. He's getting the push. It's like, no, just because you're on TV doesn't mean you're getting a push. Ask fucking Steve Blackman. What push did that guy get? That guy was on TV every fucking week for 3 years. Did he win the championship? No. He was a utility guy.
He won the hardcore belt. That was like it.
But he was fucking good. He was entertaining.
Yeah.
He was better than fucking Elias over there with his fucking 17 family members with fucking no beards on. Fuck that guy.
Shamrock,
that guy looks like a real life Simpson. You know that, right?
Oh man.
But I do recommend, if y'all haven't seen it, try to go out the way to watch Sheamus and Gunther from Clash last Saturday. It was actually a really damn good match.
I heard that got a 5-star match from
Meltzer gave it 5 stars. The second 5-star WWE match he gave this year. So
yeah,
that's okay. He's good. Not biased anymore. But when he doesn't,
which, by the way, I'll say this too. Cody and Seth Hell in the Cell was probably my favorite match as far as like WWE side of things goes. Probably this year, like that was holy hell, that was an amazing match, and it had no right to be, but it was.
I saw that he had that was when his pec was torn and you could see all the blood and everything in his fucking
it was gnarly, but the way they worked it was amazing. Kudos for both of them, because Seth busted his ass and Cody had no right to be that good that night. So
Yeah, but you know what? Like Nick said, that's competition. That's why they both need to be around. You know,
Yep.
he has a lot to prove to Vince, but now Vince isn't there anymore. He's got a lot to prove to Triple H. He's got a lot to prove to the whole company. And I think, if they stick with Cody Rhodes, he's going to give them everything he's got. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hard on Cody Rhodes when he left because he said all this shit like he was never going to leave AEW. But you know what, man? Maybe the
he
Bucks
probably
are
saw
fucking
the
with this
writing on
guy.
the wall, to be honest. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
None of us know. But I just feel like he knew, like, he saw where all this was going. And plus, he's probably making a good bit more money in WWE than he was at AEW.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they jacked up that price just to get him, but they got a good deal because he's at WrestleMania. He was already a main event looking guy. He wasn't like a little mid card guy that they
it's
threw in
not
the main
like
event.
they changed his character drastically or anything. They literally just like it's like
They bought him.
they picked him up in AEW and literally just dropped him in WWE.
Yep.
Like nothing changed.
Yeah. They didn't pull fucking like they used to do, but like, oh, fucking Cody Rhodes is making his Raw debut, and freaking, even though he's been in WWE before, and then they changed his gimmick.
They acted like he never left, but he came back a star.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks, man? Dustin is still in AEW. He might get one more run as Goldust. I don't know.
I want to see because I know we got it many years ago, but I was talking to a friend about this a couple days ago. I want to see Cody Rhodes versus Goldust, like an actual little program.
Yeah, they were supposed to do that, and Vince said no, which was so stupid because it was hot at the time. Like the fans wanted it.
Yeah.
They did it at some shitty pay-per-view.
Fastlane. It was Fastlane 2015, I believe.
Right.
It was him. It was Stardust versus Goldust.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't the
We
best.
want to see Cody versus
that first AEW pay-per-view, Double or Nothing.
That
was
that
match of the night, man. That was it. That match solidified the company right there.
Yeah.
And then it built up to the tag match against the Bucks because he was like, already signed on the contract and I'm facing the Bucks, but I need a partner. But I need my brother. And then they hugged. And yeah.
I'll get to the chat in a minute, but we got Grayson in here. Grayson, how you doing, man? I don't know, man. So we got to Eli. How you thought this was going to end? What about Romeo? How do you think this is going to all play out?
I think, like I said, just like cooler heads prevail. I don't think anybody needs to lose their job. It's nothing that serious that like anybody needs to lose their job for.
Right.
Because like Nick said earlier, it would be a loss if we lost the Bucks. It would be a loss if we lost a big loss if we lost Punk. I think Tony knows that, and he's trying his best to like keep everybody. I just think he needs to sit everybody down and be like, look, we can't have anything happen like this again.
No.
If y'all can't get along, don't be around each other. Don't say nothing. Like if y'all want to work down the road, come to me and we'll set something up. But if y'all don't really want to work, I won't put y'all together in anything. Just pretend, let bygones be bygones. Let it kind of just die down. And then when Punk's ready to come back, he can just call up TK, yo, I'm ready. Yeah. Come back and honestly just do whatever. I mean, that world title on him, though, is kind of a curse. I don't think he needs to get it anytime soon. He got hurt twice.
Third time's a charm, but in this case, I don't know, man. I think he's got to be like 100% with like some training behind him, and I think he'll be all right for one more run.
And
the whole thing was he was supposed to have one more run and then be done. You know what I mean?
I talked to a good friend of mine about this. He's still trying to wrestle like he could 11 years ago.
Right.
He's older.
Right.
And I think he needs to quit with the high flying. He needs to be more mat based he's even stated that like he's never been a good high flyer because he's got 2 left feet.
Right.
He needs to definitely switch his style up more because like if he keeps just doing the same shit, he's just gonna keep getting hurt.
Right.
He needs to switch up his style. He needs to, and he could come back better than ever. I just think he needs to take some time off, get his surgery, heal up, just kind of cool off, spend time with your dog, spend time with your wife. Then, whenever he's ready to come back, just come back. But he needs to kind of like, he needs to drop the whole cult thing. It's done. It's over with. It happened 7-8 years ago. Just let it be. And the whole Adam Page thing, like I know it was uncalled for,
Right?
That he went off script, but he just needs to nip that in the bud too. Basically what I'm trying to say is when he comes back, he needs to just start fresh.
The problem I think he's going to have is the locker room, because the locker
Yes.
room, you
Yes.
already have Matt Hardy tweeting shit out. You already have all these people fucking shitting on him. It's like, wow, you guys claim to be a fucking family backstage, but when there's a problem, you sure kick the fucking man when he's down. And I don't like that. I think all these wrestlers are full of fucking dog shit. I'll be dead honest with you. Because who does that? If you're a family
agree.
backstage, why are you going to keep shitting on each other? Why don't you just mind your own fucking business? But no, Matt Hardy's pissed because CM Punk slept with his fucking girlfriend 20 years ago. Sorry. That was her decision.
And he honestly needs to let that go too. Like, just
seriously,
he's got
everyone's
a
worried
wife
about Colt.
and,
This guy's worried about Lita.
kids now. Like that shouldn't even matter anymore. Like
Exactly.
He's got a whole family. Like,
yeah, but no, he's taking his digs, and that's okay, right? No one's calling Matt Hardy a mental maniac and all that. No one's asking for Matt Hardy to be fired. That's what I understand about this. It's like, do as I say, not as I do. And it's ridiculous. This is wrestling. Who gives a shit? These guys come in, they do some jobs on TV. And by jobs,
he's
I mean
acting
just like working.
Punk's such a sinner, but like his brother ain't a saint either. Like,
yeah, but I mean, no one's kicking Jeff Hardy while he's
which
out.
I mean,
And I've
I'm
seen
not
some
trying
pretty
to
nasty
kick Jeff
shit
Hardy
about
down.
Jeff
Like,
Hardy.
I'm a huge Jeff Hardy fan. He's one of my favorites
he's
of
awesome.
all time. But like, you gotta call a spade a spade. Like,
yep.
He's done way worse. He's actually putting people's lives in danger multiple times.
And you know what? When I see people shit on Jeff Hardy online, I get pissed off because I'm like, dude, this guy is trying
he's clearly
to not
got mental
relapse.
problems, and I just feel like once he gets that ironed out, he'll be okay.
Yeah,
but
I think Jeff Hardy will be okay. I think he's just gotta get there, and he was almost
he's
there.
He's just got to get rid of the demons.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like this could end fine if just like I said, it's kind of hard to tell. We just got to see like what they decide to do. Like I said, I don't see Tony, like kind of like after thinking about it, I don't see him firing anybody unless if he really has to, like,
right.
And unless if like TNT's threatening to like drop their like deal or something.
I don't think the fight will really have an effect with TNT, but I think if this shit happens, if something crazy happens on the air, I think TNT's going to be like, yo, this ends or you end. Like, we're done with
I'm
this.
just glad it happened on pay-per-view, like, or not on pay-per-view, but like off air, like
off the air,
right,
yeah, like,
because I'm reading, it's a lie. TNT's probably thinking what a liability this is. It's like it happened at a press conference. It wasn't on TV. Like, they don't have anything to worry about. But what they do have to worry about is if guys start going crazy live on TV, and that's a problem. And we're not talking
where,
like
I
call
mentioned
people
earlier,
out.
Tony just needs to put his foot down and start having a backbone with some of these people. Like,
he's got to get a warden, or he's got to be the warden. He's got to do something. He's got to get somebody He's got to get somebody who is a wrestler that they respect that's not desirable anywhere else. That's the only way it's going to work. If he gets somebody young, like let's say he gets Regal goes to WWE when his contract is up. Then they lost that already in the locker room. And he's got to get the locker room cooled off because they're all pissed off at CM Punk. He needs to hold a meeting and be like, listen, if you don't like this guy, fine, but shut the fuck up about it. Because, as example, this guy went out and talked about everybody and he got in trouble. So let's not all get in trouble anymore. I'm keeping the guy. The guy's gonna stay.
He's
here.
got like you mentioned earlier. He's got to quit letting people come out there and just shoot on everybody.
Yeah,
Interviews,
that's gotta
TV, like that shit's got to stop. Like you don't see, like even Rollins, for instance, Rollins and Matt Riddle, they actually have like real life heat.
Okay.
But you don't see Rollins on live TV going off script because they've recently been in a feud. You don't see Rollins going on TV being like, I think it was something to do with like Becky or something, or like maybe Riddle's wife and Becky got into it. I don't exactly remember the full story, but like you don't see Rollins going on live TV on Raw, like going off script, like talking about it. Like they keep it. Hell, they've been working together all summer, like no problems, and that can be the same with these guys if they can.
Well,
just
they know if they do something like that, Vince or Triple H are gonna fucking. They're gonna be like, "Yo, you're out of here." Like we're not dealing with this shit here. Especially Riddle, he's in a worse spot because you think Triple H is gonna keep Riddle over friggin' Seth Rollins? No fucking way.
Especially after, I don't know if y'all seen it, those text messages that came out about a week or so ago.
Yeah, the guy's a fucking
Riddle.
the guy's a nut.
I don't know if
he's
y'all
a
saw
maniac.
that, but yeah.
He is a freaking
and people still defend that guy. They defend that guy, but they don't.
Which, I mean, I don't know if it was 100% real, if it was fake. You know how people can manipulate
Where there's
text
smoke, there's
messages
fire with this guy. I mean, it's only because this isn't the first time, and it probably won't be the last time. Remember, people thought Vince McMahon was innocent until he admitted it and stepped down. Everyone's like, "Oh, leave Vince McMahon alone." And like, did anybody think he was with Linda anyway? It's like, shut up.
But yeah, as far as Punk goes, I could see him coming back and making a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's just got to cool down and heal up and get in a better headspace. As far as the Bucks, I do feel like, once their suspension is lifted, just whenever TK wants to bring him back, he can allow him to come back. But he's got to drop their positions. Like, you can't have that. You can't have EVPs running around, getting in fights and all that. Like, that's just not a good image.
And people are like, well, Punk invited them, so they went. Yeah,
like,
I get that, but you know what? They're EVPs, and they should have thought twice, too. They should have thought better than he did.
Exactly.
They fell for it.
To put in perspective, I have a position at my job.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like me going around, like, doing this and doing that to just the regular workers at my job. Like, I can't do that. I gotta be the bigger person.
Right.
If something comes up, I can't retaliate because that's just gonna make me look bad. Like, there's ways to handle it, especially when you're in positions. You gotta handle it a certain way.
Right.
Because you're supposed to be the bigger individual.
Yeah. Especially an EVP position is kind of like almost like a leadership position in itself.
Exactly.
So you can't be, running into people's locker rooms and getting, to fist fights.
Look at Van Gundy on the Knicks. Yeah, I was it. Anthony Mason was choking the guy out of. He would go in the locker room and be like, "Yo, we got to play better next time." This guy would just grab him and choke him. He'd go in the locker room, come out with like 3 black eyes.
Jesus.
It beat the fuck out of Van Gundy when he went in the locker room.
But yeah, I guess to wrap up my end of it, I think everything will be okay. We just got to let, time heals all wounds.
Right.
So I just think, it kind of just needs to start dying down and they just need to do their investigations. Because I think a third party, from what I read, a third party is doing like the investigations.
Right.
So interview whoever you need to interview, get the full story, then, like I said, make correct disciplinary actions. And then just whenever Tony feels like he's ready to start bringing these people back, bring them back. That's not saying don't give them the fucking straps the first night, but, you can bring them back, start throwing them into feuds and get back to normal, have a, full house again.
Right.
But I'm glad they're not doing an interim again. He dropped the belt completely.
The interim thing is so stupid, man.
It is. Like with Thunder Rosa, if I don't know if y'all read the reports about her. I don't know if she's actually hurt or not, or whatever the case is, because she's got heat too
Right.
with Britt and Jamie Hayter, but it's just the interim thing's so stupid. Like, just if they're gonna be out for an extended period of time, let them drop the belts. Like, you can have them come back and challenge for the belts because it's a simple storyline. Oh, I never lost it. There you go. Like, you don't
Well, you
have
know what
to
it
have
is?
them.
He wants to do this thing where it's a big undisputed match every time they come back, which is okay, but you can't do it for everyone. And the problem
No.
that you run into is, okay, you drop the title, but it's not really. It's like the paperweight champions. It's like, do the fans really want to get behind this guy? He's not really the champion, but he is. And the title's being defended, but it's not really the title being
And the
defended.
Punk, yeah, and the Punk thing I can excuse because he wasn't out for a long period of time. It's only like a few months.
But to do
And
it for every
they had
belt,
Moxley, but they didn't want Moxley, to lose it, like right away. And they had the pay-per-view coming up a week later, so like we'll just let Punk win in Chicago, which was fine. He got another Chicago win.
right?
So like advance the story, and then it worked out. But you can't do that every single time.
Well, what happens if Thunder Rosa decides to quit? I mean, we heard about the release, but that was like apparently it was a bullshit rumor. But say Thunder Rosa got released, she's still the world champion.
Yep.
It's stupid.
So
Eddie,
I'm glad
take care,
they're actually doing a tournament. Quick thoughts about that. I really, because see, I'm a huge Bryan Danielson fan,
Right.
so I hope he wins it. MJF still got that poker chip, which I don't know what that's supposed to be the deal about. Is that supposed to be like Money in the Bank? Like, can he like cash in whenever? Or, like,
anywhere he wants.
Can he just like come out and like just like I don't know how that works. I don't know if they really like explained it, but
There's
like
a rumor that Danielson might win the title, and this guy's going to cash in the chip and beat him.
okay.
But then
that's
there's rumors that
what
Moxley's going to retain, and then he's going to cash in the chip and beat him.
Yeah, that's what that's honestly what I said. Like, I think, and that can have like that could be the feud going forward, for a little bit or whatever. I mean, they kind of teased it on Dynamite. We could also get Moxley and MJF.
Yeah. There's a lot.
I mean, they got good stuff going on. They just got to they'll recover. I mean, it's not the end of the world like everybody claims it is, but I just think they're in a good position where like it wasn't that serious, that no one was like seriously injured or anything, like no one got arrested or anything, so like
yeah,
they'll recover. It's just cooler heads got to prevail.
I agree, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know what happens with these guys. I don't know what the thing is. Hopefully they just book around this stuff so we forget about it for a little bit. But
Yeah.
The internet, man, I'm on Twitter for other things. All this stuff pops up my feed. I'm like, dude, I want to quit Twitter now. Like, because it's just stupid.
Like,
the stupid stuff people write.
I'll listen to the Observer here and there.
Right.
But like literally all week, every single day they're talking about it. I'm like, can we just like nothing has really like.
Yeah, because Brian and Dave have to get their little fucking digs back in because he made them look bad.
And I'm glad how
Dave is like,
a single thing about that. When Punk called him out, like they haven't mentioned that at all. Like,
right
on the shows, like that's just like they don't speak on that.
And
but
Dave
they'll speak on everything else.
Whoa, Punk threw the first punch. It's like, wait a minute, the investigation's not over. How do you know? Because you're getting one side of the story. He's like, oh, I talked to both sides. It's like, did you really? He goes, it's undisputed
do y'all
that Punk threw the first punch.
Or do y'all think the Bucks really have been like feeding all these like newsletters and like sites like news, like fake news?
I think so, because like when Cody had the issue, before Cody had the issue, we found out that there was a problem with the Elite. Okay? And nobody knew where that came from. Then Cody leaves. But before Cody leaves, there was a rumor about his contract negotiations. Then it comes up that Brandy was toxic backstage. Like, all this stupid shit was coming out about this guy.
And I mean, it makes sense. It really does, because, Meltzer and them and the Bucks, they're really close, so, like, I could see them, being like, hey, Brian, like, this, and this. If you want to go ahead and like report this, here you go. Like
Right.
here's some info. And then then they go on the Observer, and then there you go, and then it spreads like wildfire from there.
Yeah,
But they got to cut that shit out too if they really are doing it, because that could ruin somebody's career.
well,
Like,
this whole thing with
like
Colt
that.
Cabana, who the
Our
fuck,
company?
who the hell told everybody in the locker room that this guy had Colt Cabana fired? Somebody said that somewhere.
I don't buy it for one fucking second that Punk like talked to TK and was like, "Yo, like
I
you
don't
gotta
think so
get
either.
this, yeah, like you gotta get Scott out of here. Like I don't want him around me. Like
I think Tony Khan was doing budget cuts because look at who he cut. He cut a few of the Dark Order guys, and who was in it? Colt Cabana. I think the Bucks found out that Colt was getting cut, and they went and they batted for Cabana. And I think Tony Khan figured, okay, if I'm going to keep this guy, I'll put him on Ring of Honor. Maybe Tony Khan was thinking, I'll keep him away from Punk, and I'll give him a little bit less money in Ring of Honor, just so that I have somebody on the roster I can use, and he's from Ring of Honor originally, so it'll work out.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks took that as, oh, he talked to Phil, CM Punk, and that's what happened with him. Maybe he did fucking tell him. I don't know. I don't think he would, because I think CM Punk is the guy that came in. He's trying to make the place better. All of a sudden, they're saying shit that he didn't do. He defends himself. He looks like the
he
bad
literally
guy.
said that he's there to help the company. He's there to help the younger guys.
Right.
Like,
But imagine you walk into work one day and everyone hates your guts, and you're like, "What happened?" Oh, well, Bill said that you said this about this other guy, so we all hate you now. And you're like, "I didn't say shit. Fuck Bill, and fuck all you guys that think that. Oh, you got a mental problem, man. You shouldn't be around here. You should be fired." Like, can you imagine that?
yeah, that
Right.
you're likely to snap at some point. So
And
I
they
think
ruined
that's
his
like
career
what
because the whole
happened.
fucking internet hates this guy now.
As far as
Yeah.
like the media scrum goes, I believe that's was what happened. He just got tired of hearing like all this fake news.
Yep.
He got tired of like all the lies and bullshit. He was already hurt, and he just snapped. Like he just went off.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
that
you
was
can't really
his
blame
receipt.
him. Yeah,
When I saw that, I was like, okay. I told Frank and Jeff, because they were in the room with me. I was like, this is the end of the company right here. But this guy, he's had enough. He's had enough
like
of
you
all
can
the bullshit.
as a human,
Yeah.
because people, like they're portrayed as larger than life characters, but at the end of the day, they put on pants and shoes just like we fucking do. They're human beings too. They have fucking feelings.
We got to go home, to
Yeah,
their
like
wives and kids.
they get their own personal issues and problems.
Right.
And the last thing they want to see and hear is a bunch of people that they don't be fucking know in real life trying to like say this and say that and put words in their fucking mouths.
But
Like
you know what I've noticed this generation. Today, when I was growing up, you stuck up for yourself if something happened. And,
of course.
And people were like, all right, good job. If you don't stick up for yourself today, you're a pussy. But if you stick up for yourself today, you're mental, you have problems, you're crazy, you need to be put away, you need to be fired. It's like, what happened? You can't stick up for yourself anymore?
The world's just gotten really soft. I mean, that's
it's
what it boils
ridiculous.
down to.
And I understand, like, look, people are a little nuts out there, but to be honest with you, yo, you're a man if you stick up for yourself. I mean, look, there's certain situations where you don't just jump into the fire. But in this case, the guy is tired of people ruining his fucking career. When they spread rumors like this, the internet fucking hates him. He's going to lose fans over. He's going to lose money. He's going to lose merchandise money. No one's going to buy the pay-per-views. No one's going to buy his merch or any of that crazy stuff. It's just ridiculous. You're sabotaging this guy without proof. Where's the proof that he sat down with Tony Khan and said, get rid of Colt Cabana? And to be honest with you, it's Colt Cabana. Who cares? It's ridiculous. The whole company is being dragged into this because of a job guy. That's like if WWF got ripped apart because of Barry Horowitz over there. It's ridiculous. So
Ridiculous.
yeah, can you imagine if Barry Horowitz got screwed at Survivor Series? Which, by the way, that divided the locker room too. Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But then Vince had Pritchard call like Foley up and be like, "Yo, is Brett paying your bills?" He says no. He's like, "Well, we want you back on TV on Monday of next week," because Foley walked out. And all the guys that were pissed, like Steve Austin, what is he gonna do? He's got to go to work every day. He wasn't too happy about that Bret Hart thing,
No.
but he had to go to work. He had to work with
Show
Shawn
must
Michaels.
go
He
on.
might not have liked Shawn Michaels, but he had to work with him. But he wasn't going to the fucking newspaper at Steve Austin and be like, "Yo, that motherfucking Shawn Michaels, he screwed my friend Bret Hart. I'm gonna fucking get him back." And it's like, dude, that's their problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you know what? I don't blame CM Punk for flipping out at the media scrum. The only thing I don't think he should have done was overstep Tony. But I think he was at the point where he had to let it all out, and nobody was going to stop him.
No.
Maybe Tony even like figured that and was like, I'm just gonna let this guy like air out his grievances.
Yeah,
Like,
but the problem that Tony did though was he was shaking his head, and it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was just like, come on, man.
He was like
I
shaking his
saw
head in
that.
agreement, and I'm like, you're the boss. Like, you know how he said WCW to let the inmates run the asylum? This is that shit right now. The inmates are running the asylum.
Yeah.
WCW, even when the lawyer Bill Bush was fucking running the company, I think it was Bill Bush. Dude, there was some crazy shit going on backstage, but they weren't doing this stuff. The only guy that went nuts was Russo on fucking pay-per-view.
Dude, guys would show up to tapings and then leave.
He said fuck
And,
Hulk
like, get
Hogan, and they
paid.
got rid of him.
Yeah.
I remember the story. Brad Armstrong was hiding out backstage because he didn't want anybody to put him on the show or whatever because he just wanted to get his fucking paycheck.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, this is like, damn.
I don't know. Over Colt Cabana, man. It's like Colt Cabana ruins everything in wrestling, huh?
I do wonder what he's thinking about all this because, like,
He's been quiet.
He's probably so
Yeah.
happy that CM Punk's getting it back because he countersued him and shit, remember? This is probably his sweet revenge. And I'm sure he's having his lawyer redo the press scrum so that he could try to sue and get money. And Tony Khan's got to realize he's a target. These guys are going to hit him up for money if shit goes down. Now, I heard that Punk threatened to sue the Bucks for like false statements or whatever the hell.
Yeah, I heard that too.
But then the Bucks, I'm hearing they're threatening to quit. And if they quit and they get stripped of their EVPs, they might have a good lawsuit going on. And again, Tony's a billionaire. So they'll get all their money and they'll go right to WWE. It's a lose-lose in this situation. But Tony Khan didn't put his foot down. And he knew this was happening. Because they had that meeting 2 weeks ago.
And it's not like it's something that happened out of the blue. Like as a moment the cameras got cut on, the live feed started, Punk walked out, like he saw that guy, and all hell broke loose from there. So like he went on. He literally let this man go on for 30 minutes, just saying whatever. Like,
yeah. And me and Frank are like, what is going on right now?
That's like on Saturday, because, they did a little medium scrum press conference thing. That's like if fucking, I don't know, Roman came out and was like, oh, fuck Drew McIntyre. Like, come on. Like,
and Roman, before he leaves, goes, you're fuck Patrick Ewing. Oh, man. Yeah, that would be funny if Roman went nuts. That would actually probably be really cool if he went crazy. You know what? Fuck Triple H. I hate this fucking company. Some NXT bullshit. I want to go to a real wrestling company, Impact. I want to beat that guy with the headphones.
He said, I'll go work for another pod.
I don't know. That's another thing too. MJF's going to win the title and then go to WWE. Not with the title, but I'm just saying, like,
Which
unless,
I mean, you know,
unless this guy
I
signed
don't
him
know
already.
because they're not gonna let him. It's different with Cody because you know Cody he was a lot less dialed, like he wasn't like as like on the edge and cuff as like MJF was. Like MJF, he'll say whatever that's on his mind,
Right.
and he has no filter. His character is gonna get watered down if he goes to WWE. Like he can't be the same MJF. Like Cody's the same Cody. It just won't work.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's not going to work at all.
Like he can't come out and be like, "You fucking marks." Like he can't do that. Which I mean, that they have. Y'all probably noticed they have done the bleeps here and there recently, and they've kind of gotten away with a little bit more. But like, it's nothing like what AEW's been doing, and hell, even they're trying to like dial it back a little bit,
Yeah, that show on Wednesday completely dialed back.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like MJF works in AEW. Pete, like even when they dialed him back on Wednesday, he worked. In WWE, dialed back to that extent, he ain't gonna work because they got so many guys that are better than him as heels. The Miz would kill that guy, which is hilarious because even like CM Punk said, he's like a bootleg Miz. He's not. He's MJF, but the problem with MJF is, and this is what I knew was going to be an issue, the guy's not really that good of a worker in the ring. He's a great mouthpiece. So in WWE, he was going to be hung by his balls with Vince. With Triple H, I don't know what the plan is. He's going to have to wrestle. He's going to have to learn how to fucking get it done because you can't have this guy being Bobby Heenan at fucking 25 years old. So, I don't know.
Like, I don't know if they put him, like, in a stable right away or, like, what. But if he does come in, I would definitely, first thing I would do is you got to do something with Cody, like, right away.
Oh, they're going to do that. I guarantee you. If they fire the Bucks and the Elite, that's the first thing they're doing.
And it would make even more sense because he's literally name dropping Cody on TV right now. Like,
can you imagine if Cody Rhodes is the favorite for the Royal Rumble, and during the Rumble you have the Elite come out? Forget it. And imagine if they're the Final Four. The place will go fucking nuts. And then Cody's the last one
think about it, the Elite versus the Bloodline. I mean, that's money right there. Like,
well, imagine the Royal Rumble. The last two guys in the ring is Cody and Omega, right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, MJF comes out of the crowd, knocks out Cody Rhodes. Kenny Omega throws it. Can you imagine that shit? That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then you do the Elite versus the Bloodline, and you do Cody versus Roman, but you always got MJF in that corner looking to knock out Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
That could be the whole big storyline for them, and that would make their Royal Rumble, but I don't know,
because their feud actually got cut short because of the pandemic. Like, they didn't get to actually really their program in AEW kind of just like ended on a weird note because they didn't get to finish it.
Right.
Because like that was once like when the pandemic hit and everything, and it kind of like messed everything up.
Yeah.
So like it definitely like, kind of pick up where they left off, I guess.
I'm telling you, they got a bunch of built-in storyline. But the thing is, this Cody, based on what happened, does he even want to work with the Bucks? But I'm sure in WWE he would have no problem because again they got the Wardens over there. They know what's going on. I don't know. I think this whole thing, like you said, I hope that Punk is out with injury. Hopefully cooler heads prevail and they figure something out. And I hope that it works out because again, we need AEW. We had WWE with no competition. TNA did everything right in the beginning and everything wrong at the end. But I'll tell you this about TNA. Besides Bubba the Love Sponge getting attacked by Karma, or Awesome Kong, whatever you want to call her, you really heard no backstage fights. I mean, Dixie Carter kept her locker room pretty good, which is shocking, right? That she did a better job with the locker room than this guy. But What are you gonna do? But TNA did a lot of things right in the beginning. They did a lot of wrong things
I
towards
mean,
the middle.
and I mean, they groomed basically one of the greatest wrestlers like right now. I
Styles,
mean,
yeah.
AJ. I mean, it's not like he's doing anything crazy right now, but like hell, even like I heard something like some years ago, Vince literally walked up to AJ and was like, "I should have hired you like 10 years ago. Like,
Right.
I wish I hired you 10 years ago." Like
But you know what? He says that, but he would totally bury him because listen, AJ going to New Japan is what saved his career.
Oh
Because
yeah,
that's
for
how they
sure.
looked at him, as a New Japan guy. They didn't look at him as a TNA guy.
Because they
Which is good.
buried him on his way out of Impact. Like,
Yeah.
buried him. It took like the whole fucking locker room to like beat this man.
I remember, I think High Spots did the first shoot with AJ when he left. And the guy that owned High Spot was like, before we start this interview, I just want to make it clear that I do think this is a work. And I'm like, why are you
What the
selling us a
hell?
shoot tape then if you think this is a work? Why would he be on a shoot tape if this was a work?
Exactly.
And on the shoot, he's talking about how Dixie fired him. And it's like, why would anybody even buy these tapes from these guys anymore? If they think that the wrestlers are working them and they're recording this thing to sell to people. Like, what the fuck? It makes no sense. People need to get this work shit out of their head. Oh, it's a work, bro. And then what's the payoff? Oh, well, Cody's going to win the title naked on Dynamite. It's like, that's the payoff? And the guy shows up at WrestleMania.
They're not building feuds around fucking Twitter feuds, guys. Like people.
That's why
fucking
they need to
tweeting
stop
each other.
fucking shooting on these guys. They need to stop shooting on each other if there's no matches. Tony Khan needs to be like, yo, when you guys do interviews or whatever, don't shoot on anybody. Talk about what you're currently doing in the ring.
Because one, shooting on someone else helps nobody, because it just makes you look like you're complaining, like all these fans are saying, because
But it makes the company look like they have a bunch of fucking pissed off people
disgruntled
working
employees.
there.
Yeah.
It makes the company look
like
bad.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, when you talk about what you're doing,
I hate everybody in the locker room. Okay, let's interview this
I'm
guy.
fucking
Well, I hate
feuding with
everybody in
this
the locker room.
guy.
Let's interview that guy. I hate everybody in the locker room. Everyone fucking hates each other, so why would we even watch your shit on TV?
Right. It's like, if you're gonna talk about stuff, talk about what you're doing, talk about your program, promote yourself. That's the whole point.
Or how about you just suck it up and be like, yo, I don't really like Bryan Danielson, but he's a great wrestler, and you know what? Hopefully we work together, and maybe I'll change my opinion of him personally. Wow, what a great interview. Instead, I hate this guy in the locker room. He farted once and I smelled it. Can you believe it? It's like, this is what's on TV? Like, this is what you guys are doing?
Right.
These interviews don't mean shit because they're not promoting anything. You had RWK88 in the chat say the only reason he knows about wrestling is because it's not promoted. But the only reason he knows what's going on is because of us. He watches what we talk about. But he wouldn't know because instead of Eddie Kingston saying, hey, tune in to Dynamite, he's saying, oh, I fucking hate this guy in the back.
Hate this guy. Hate
And
that
I like
guy,
Eddie Kingston. He's from Yonkers. So I think he's good. I think he was one of the guys that fought Cody in that thing, and they signed him dead off the bat, and I think that was great. But at the end of the day, it's not just him I'm saying a lot of these guys. They got to stop with the shoot fucking promos of matches that they're never going to have. If you know you're going to fight Bryan Danielson in a month, do the shoot promo. Because then when it happens, the fans are like, oh shit, that happened because he said that on the fucking radio show.
Or, oh shit, he said this. I gotta tune into that match now. Like,
Or hey, well, let's see where it goes from here. Like, because maybe he gave him a dirty look or something on Dynamite, and then he's on the radio show shooting on him, and then people are like, oh fuck, he's talking about the other night. I got to tune in next week, see what happens now. Then Bryan Danielson gives him the dirty look, and you're like, oh shit, he heard the interview, and you're off to the races there. But when you say you hate everybody in the locker room and you don't want to work with half these guys, it's like, why would anybody want to fucking work there? Especially when you got Triple H over there now and everyone's praising that shit. Even though nothing's really changed over there. Wow, he brought back a few people. Bailey's doing the NWO with the women. She just doesn't have the damn NWO shirt on. You know what I mean? But whatever. And they're bringing guys back too. But that's going to run out of steam at some point. There's not going to be guys to bring back after a certain amount of time. And Triple H is going to have all these guys again, and he's going to figure out how to use them all. And then when he can't use certain guys and they leave and they do their interviews, the fans are going to say, well, he's just bitter. They're just bitter. I'm sick of that shit. No, they're not bitter. They're telling you why they don't work in the company anymore. And by the way, Vince did promise these guys a lot of things that he never delivered on, just to get them to work the road and the house shows and shit. But the fans know more than this guy. They know the contracts. They're the lawyers. They're the dentists. They're the doctors. They're the homicide detectives. And they get paid nothing. They just live in their mom's basement rent free. That's what I'm so tired of. I'm tired. I don't know who's worse, the wrestling fans or the video game people. Everyone fucking hates each other. It's ridiculous. Just get over it. Oh, well, you don't watch WWE. It's like, guys, watch everything. It's for free on fucking TV. Just watch it all. Gaming, play it all. You have all this stuff. Why are we hating on everything? Just fucking enjoy it. With WWE, I took a break because I watched for 20 years straight, and it was annoying. It got to a point where they were just never going to change their ways. And I'm sorry, but I have a life, and I can't watch 45-minute fucking matches with Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns on free TV every Monday night. I can't watch Dolph Ziggler fight whoever the fuck for the 29th time in a row at 75 minutes long apiece with 6 commercial breaks. Sorry, I have better things to do like sleep.
I just think they got to get both belts off Roman. Like,
they will.
They really messed up by putting both the belts on him in the first place. Like, it just, like, I don't even know how you would get both, like, one of them off Roman. Like,
Cody's gonna beat him at WrestleMania, and they're gonna present Cody with the original WWF title, the Hulk Hogan one, the Winged Eagle thing. I guarantee you, they're gonna switch the belts back up.
I think
yeah, because I heard something about how Triple H wants to like bring back older title designs, possibly. So
I would bring all that shit back. Look, the belts, like, look at RWK, okay? He said he wouldn't even know what's going on, or because they don't promote it. He said in the chat room. Obviously, the big W on the damn belts when they go on interviews on TV, or they send the belts to the fucking sports teams, obviously it's not doing shit. This guy doesn't know where to watch. He doesn't know what's going on. And they send these things when they win the World Series. They're all wearing WWE belts. They do that for advertising. It's not working. It's absolutely not working. Just make them fucking world title belts. Enough with the logo. People know what the fucking company is. I'm just sick of it. Like, bring back and make it look like a world title. That fan, like, the Intercontinental title is so destroyed. I don't even care about the matches anymore.
Yeah, that title looks hideous. By the way, I don't
like
mind
worse than the
it.
fucking Pat
I
Patterson
mean,
belt.
at least he's gonna have a good reign with it. He's having good matches, but the belt, as far as the belt design goes, that belt, looks like trash.
When I was watching the Attitude Era, like in both companies, the belts were so cool. You were like, wow, this match is going to be great because one of these guys is going to get that nice belt. Now it's like, oh, the belt's fucking ugly. Who cares who wins? You know what I mean?
That's ugly. Yeah. I mean, that's how people think, though. I mean, that's how I thought about the WWE title when it was the fucking spinner belt after fucking John Cena won it and they kept it the spinner belt.
Are you going to fight for a steak or are you going to fight for a rotten apple?
Right.
What fight would be more interesting? Obviously for the steak, right? Because you want to know who's going to have the best dinner tonight. The rotten apple, you're like, I don't give a shit who gets that. They're going to just get sick and fucking drop dead probably.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good analogy.
Oh my god, what's up in the chat? Oh, WK, when I was a kid, almost everyone had a WWE t-shirt or something. I don't see that shit anymore. I don't see anything about wrestling
No.
anywhere. Yeah, because Vince scared everybody away.
People wear like NWO t-shirts here and there, but nobody's wearing the new fucking Roman Reigns t-shirt.
But as we've
Maybe, like,
seen on Reddit, not Reddit, on Twitter, people think NWO shirts at Walmart are some conspiracy thing and not wrestling.
Yeah.
Some
like, I
lady
can't
called the
believe
Walmart manager and was like, "This is disgusting. How could you sell these things?" And the manager's like, "This is wrestling." And the lady's like, "Oh, that's how ridiculous it is."
it. Yeah. They got a solo.
And by the way, it was a
Hogan and
Wolfpack
Nash
shirt.
Malone.
I think social media has ruined wrestling and so I think social media has ruined everything. But yes.
Yeah, everything. I mean,
It's, you know what it is? It's too much of a good thing. It tell you, in moderation, everyone always overdoses. It's everything.
Mhm.
Everyone has too much of everything.
Yeah.
I'm a Jeff Hardy fan and realize he has problems, but he needs to stop doing dumb stuff, says Trainwreck in the chat. Yeah, I mean, look, I thought Jeff Hardy was on the right path, and then this happened to him, so.
This was
I don't
supposed to
know.
be
I'm always
their
cheering
last
for the
run,
guy.
too.
I see people write nasty shit like, "Oh, he should die this time," and I'm like, "Come on, guys."
Like I mentioned
He's a
earlier,
human
he's
being.
one of my favorites of all time.
Absolutely.
He's one of the people like Punk that got me to watch wrestling in the first place. But it's just people just got to leave that guy alone. Let him
Yep.
take care of himself. Get everything
Right.
figured out. Let
Don't
him
you
have
think
his
that maybe if people are ripping on him online, that might play into a factor of him fucking getting fucked up? You know what I mean? Like, people need to take it back a little.
I agree. He shouldn't be putting people's lives in
No,
danger.
absolutely
get behind all that. I mean, that's totally understandable. But as
You
far as
literally, though,
this
had
guy
people on.
blackball, he's done
You literally
people-
had people though, like betting on when he was gonna fuck up, and that's
Yeah,
the part that I'm really pissed off about.
Came into AEW first night. I get online and everybody is talking about, oh, I wonder how long he's going to be around before something happens. I mean, what happened 2 months later?
Yeah, you're a real Notre Damus in the on the message boards. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't like seeing stuff like that. Again, why? Just be happy that the guy's in AEW. The guy was happy to go there.
I think my thing is everybody is really not be on the wrestling side of things. It's everything. Everybody tries to be detectives and
yes,
crime scene investigators, just I don't know. It's just internet's ruined not just wrestling, but a lot of aspects of life.
yeah,
it
was supposed to be the online encyclopedia, and it turned into
Yeah.
a lot more crazier stuff than that. Maybe we should have stuck with Encarta 95.
You should have made people pay for AOL. Yeah. And all that.
They did make people pay for AOL by the minute. But I don't think you knew that. At one point, you had to pay by the minute.
That business model.
It used to come with 1,000 free hours because they screwed that whole thing up.
Yeah.
Any questions in the chat before we wrap up? Any questions for Romeo, for Eli? Nick is gone. But yeah, I mean, this show was pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
It's great having Romeo on for the first time ever. I'm talking to him. It's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It just sucks that this happened, though, because...
Yeah, it sucks it had to be about this,
Yeah, it's just...
We should have been talking about how great all this other stuff was that happened this week, because I thought Dynamite was pretty good this week.
Dynamite
was good.
I mean, I don't know if y'all agree or whatever, but I've been finding Jon Moxley really fucking boring lately because he's been doing the same shit for 3 years.
Right.
But, I mean, hell, he came out Wednesday and cut a hell of a promo, and I'm like, hell, I kind of like this guy again. It was something different, and hell, even Jericho cut a good promo, and Garcia and Yuta fucking killed it, which Yuta, he's another guy, I like him a lot. So... I mean, it's just
I think
things going. It's just
they're gonna have the rubber match with Bryan and Garcia for the belt this time, and I think that's gonna be a banger of a match too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
I don't.
Ryan with a broomstick, and I mean, it would be a damn good match. Like,
You know,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with like Moxley and those guys. Like, you know, like people say like, oh, he's like, you know, Cornette will say he's the plumber or whatever. I like him a lot better in AEW than I did in WWE.
Yeah.
That's probably why I don't have an issue with what he does. But I could see, I mean, he does the same shit every week. You know, he'll yell into the camera or whatever. But I never sat there and was like, this guy sucks. In WWE,
he's just got to
I
quit
thought he
bleeding
sucked.
all the time. I mean, he's like damn Ric
Yeah,
Flair.
yeah.
Like you blow on him, and he starts bleeding like a stuffed pig. Like you gotta,
Yeah,
you
I see that
gotta quit
completely.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
That
gonna look
stuff
like that.
I really don't like blood in wrestling unless it's like
If the
in the
story like
spot.
if it's needed,
Yeah.
you know, like it's one of those things. Like if it's needed, then yeah.
Yeah.
But
Every
like
match has that.
he'll go out there every single match, every single week and bleed, and I'm just like, why? Like,
Yeah, he's like the hardcore Foley over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, wait a minute. No, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Like Moxley to me is fine, but like you guys said, you know, he does same stuff and he's bleeding for no reason. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not like against your guys' opinions at all on that. So I said your
Yeah.
guys. I hate when people say that. But yeah, I don't know. I thought the show was alright. I thought it was pretty good. As far as like given the circumstances that they had, I think they started to show off really good with the Death Triangle winning. And it was a hell of a match. Death Triangle is always great. But
they got to quit changing Penta's name so much. Like, I don't know why
yeah,
they change his name every
Dude,
5 minutes. Like,
just
25
call him
different
something
names.
different every
Penta,
week.
Pentafatso, or
Used to be Pentagon Jr. What the hell happened?
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
I remember before he did all the makeup, he used to just have the fucking costume. He didn't have all the fucking thing. It was just fucking Pentagon Jr.
well,
Now
that's
he's like Penta
the
Zero.
end of somebody's career line.
Oh.
Well, I think we're gonna go, but I want to thank Romeo for coming on.
Yeah, man.
I want to thank Nick for coming on.
thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. If we do this again and you want to come on, just let me know. And you got the
For
Discord
sure.
already, so you're all set. But
Like I
that,
said, I'm usually working a lot during the week, but usually on weekends that's when I'm free. So if y'all ever have like a weekend show or something, I'll
that
I'll
might
hop on here and there.
that might work out because Eli's also free on the weekends. So depending on
Yeah.
his situation, yeah, we can all get back together. So, but I want to thank you for being a professional.
For sure.
A lot of people they come on these shows and who
Yeah.
knows.
Thank you for not coming
Who knows
on
what
and screaming,
happens.
yelling and cursing.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't mind that, but it depends on what he's screaming and yelling about.
Yeah.
I want to thank Nick for not coming on here and screaming and yelling. For making us drag him out of retirement over here. But
Yeah.
all right, guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you
Everybody be
later.
safe,
Everyone in
man.
the chat, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank
And
you,
again,
guys.
thanks RWK88 for the 199 super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you all for watching. Good night.
Everybody, good night.
All right, you too.
Later, y'all.
All right, bye.
Bye. Is it over?
Yeah, it's over. So we're out. Everyone, take care. Peace.
Peace.